Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Down the Rat Hole. Today, with me, I have my co host, Will,
Hello.
and I am Reid. I think I forget to introduce myself most of the time, honestly. I'm just like, you better know who I am if you're here. But, um, before we get into stuff, I have a few things to say. Number one, if you would like to submit a story, go over to Instagram at Down the Rat Hole Pod, all one word, and send us a DM. It can be something that happened to you personally. It can be something that happened to a friend. It can be just a story off the internet you want me to read. It can be anonymous or not. Make sure that you say if I should say your name or not, because if you do not say that I should explicitly, I'm not going to say your name. Just for privacy reasons, I guess. But you can just send us a DM and you will probably get featured, and I will try to reply to you and let you know if you did get featured in an episode so you know where to look. I think that's all for that. Second thing, this is going to be a really badly edited episode, if edited literally at all. It's been a rough week for everyone, as you can imagine. Us here in the United States, we are struggling quite a bit.
Understatement.
Yeah, understatement. Um, I was gonna say a whole thing, and now I'm just like, I don't even know.
Postscript. Put it in the end.
I don't know.
Just edit it and
I'm not
edit
editing
it in.
anything, so
Oh.
I don't know. I just want to say that um, because like we specifically us, we do not have the privilege of staying quiet and acting like everything's fine, nothing's happening here. So I'm not going to, and I'm going to say that me and everyone that I would invite onto this show, we stand for human rights and human fucking decency
Hmm.
in this country. And I don't care if I lose potential followers, fans, whatever, because every single time that that happens, that makes this place a little bit safer for everyone else. So, just want you to know that we're gonna get through it. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna hope it's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna say for sure it will be because I don't know, and I'm not gonna lie to you. But um, just wanted to say a quick little thing because we haven't been back since shit went down.
Yeah.
So but we're gonna get into the episode, and today our theme is teachers and all that kind of stuff. Did you want to start?
Yeah. I don't have any Reddit stories, but I have a lot of personal stories and things that
Yeah.
have happened. So to start off, this was way long time ago, back when I was in elementary school. I think it was fourth grade. We were in music class, and our teacher was telling us ghost stories. And one of the ones he was telling us was about this scarecrow that would hang out at, like elementary schools and middle schools and just kind of snatch kids up if they were like waiting on their parents by themselves or something. And I don't know what happened to the kids. He never really went that far into it. He kind of left it at that. Well, a few days later, it's like a Friday, I'm walking down to the front of the school for the pickup around from the back, and I was by myself. And I looked up on the roof. And there's a fucking scarecrow
Oh my
just
god.
on the roof, right? And of course, little like fourth grade me, scared shitless. So I scream and just fucking sprint into the woods.
I mean,
Um, my parents like found out what happened, and they thought it was hilarious, so they went and told the teacher. He had no idea the scarecrow was up there, and it turns out that another one of the teachers that had knew he was telling the story put the scarecrow up there just to scare the kids.
that is diabolical. That is so mean.
I mean, looking back on it, I think it's hilarious,
How
right?
old were
But
you?
fourth
So
grade,
like 9,
I don't know.
depending when you were born. You were probably on the younger side because you were
Well,
born later in
I
the year.
graduated high
Ow.
school in 2015, and I was 18.
Okay, fucking
So
grandpa over here.
do the math. I don't know.
No, I
Yeah, I
won't.
don't want to either.
Um,
I was probably like 7. I don't know.
if you were in 4th grade, you were not 7 years old.
6.
You had to be older.
I don't know.
Fourth
Well,
graders
let's
are
see.
9 to 10 years old.
I'm doing math. I was
Unless,
probably 9.
yeah, you're usually 10 when you go into fifth grade, and then 11 when you go into sixth, or you're a year older than that. I don't think you understand the ages of
Well,
children.
I also went to school a year late because of where my birthday is in December. Um, I could have gone a year late or I could have gone a year early, and my parents decided to put me into school a year late. So I could have graduated a year earlier.
Wait, so you were 6 years old when you started kindergarten?
Well, I don't know.
By like a whole year?
I mean, I would have started like
I'm
before
confused.
I turned like 6, right?
Usually you
But
start at 5.
my birthday's in the middle of the school year, so I could have started
Oh.
like a year early
Well,
or a year
school
late.
children only start in August, basically.
I don't know.
So it's not semesters. This isn't college. Um, I've been in school since I was 3.
Lame.
I started going to Head Start, and then I started going to preschool, and then I went to kindergarten, and then I went to fucking elementary school. Kindergarten still in elementary school. Middle school, high school, and now I'm in college, and it never fucking ends. Dear God. Um. Anyway.
Oh my god, you just brought back a memory from when I was in preschool. It has
Okay.
to do with another teacher.
Okay.
She was not a good teacher. Um, every time we'd be out on the playground, if we got on the swings, she would yell at us that only one of us could swing at a time, even though there were 6 swings.
What the fuck? Why?
I I don't know. She also wouldn't let us outside if there was like a sprinkle of rain.
Weird. I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to decide which one of these I want to read. I'll let you choose. So, am I the asshole for telling a 15-year-old that Santa isn't real as a teacher? Or am I the asshole for pretending I didn't know I was adopted to make my teacher embarrassed?
Ooh,
I
the
chose.
adopted
Okay.
one. Yeah, because I'm also adopted.
I
So
saw it and I was like,
I'm probably going to agree with this person.
okay, we'll see. So this is coming from r/slash am I the asshole? Um, like I said, am I the asshole for pretending I didn't know I was adopted to make my teacher embarrassed? Okay, posting on a throwaway because there's enough info here you could figure out on my main if you know me. Okay, so I'm in high school and this was an English class. Our real teacher is on paternity leave. I like calling the substitute a fake
A fake
teacher.
teacher. Most of
Fake
them don't
teacher.
teach. They sit there and just be annoying.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, our real teacher is on paternity leave and we have a long term substitute. Says yesterday she was telling us she wants us to write personal memoirs about something very important in our lives, and she goes on about she goes about listing various examples for different students. This is a bad fucking idea. First of all, maybe don't
Yeah.
specify for a specific person. Um, she told me I could write about being adopted and how I felt when my parents told me. Now, I must have made a face then because I'm not adopted. I have two dads, but they had me through surrogacy. So technically, there was a legal adoption for my non biological dad, but one is my biological dad, and my mom is my other dad's sister who donated her egg and carried me. I think it would be a stretch to call me adopted. Also, the sub has no basis to even know any of this because, as much as I've written in class, just that I have two dads.
But also, don't say someone's adopted. That's disgusting.
Yeah, like,
Like, I'd be so mad if someone said that to me. Like, if I hadn't previously told them.
yeah, like, I, I just think that she probably didn't think that surrogacy exists. So, like, one
She's
of his,
probably an older
one of
teacher.
his dads is literally his biological dad,
Yeah.
and then the mother of him is the other one's sister. So like genetically,
Yeah. Both of them are.
that's
Yeah.
almost his kid too. So like I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever.
I mean, that's cool of the sister to do
Yeah, I mean
that.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty common situation. I feel like. Okay. Anyway, she's kind of old school and doesn't like when we talk too loud, which to her is talking at a normal indoor level on group assignments. Make any normal faces and whatever. She basically called me out on making a face and was like, OP, if you don't want to write about being adopted, then you can choose another important topic to your life. Maybe how you help your dad at home. One of my dads has cerebral palsy and is mostly blind from optic neuropathy. I think that's how you say that.
Oh, I already hate this teacher.
I did write briefly about that in the intro assignment with our other teacher, so he must have left them with her to get to know the class. I was confused, so I said, I'm not adopted. She just put her hand over her heart and goes, Oh, honey. I would have lost my shit.
That's
So now my brain was lagging, caught up. Wait, oh my god. So now my brain, which was lagging, caught up, and I realized she's only thinking I'm adopted because I have two dads. So at this point, I'm like, whatever, I'll just play into it. So I look upset and I'm like, I don't know how I was adopted. She kind of she's kind of panicking a bit and telling everyone to just start writing something. A lot of my friends are laughing at her under their breath because they know I'm not adopted. So she's telling everyone to quiet down and it's not funny and to get to work. I'm like, what do you mean I'm adopted? She's trying to tell me not to worry about it and just ask my dad's when I get home. And I'm like, how can I be adopted? So she sends me to the school counselor, and I told her the story basically, and she basically gave off the vibe that it was a shitty thing to mess with the sub that way, and I could have just explained I'm not adopted because now I have made her worry unnecessarily and embarrassed her. I don't think parts of my life are up to her to decide what I want to share or not, and I feel like it's on her if she feels embarrassed for assumptions she made. Maybe that makes me the asshole?
no. He should go back in there and keep embarrassing her.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a shitty sub.
I
She needs to
just.
be fired. Like honestly, you can't just go around and say stuff like that.
We just need to stop making assumptions about people. Like,
Like especially with kids, right? Because if you make the wrong assumption and
and I feel like
someone like that kid could get bullied for the rest of their life about it,
I feel like adoption is like one thing you do not talk to like a
No.
school age child about. I feel like everyone knows. We leave that off the fucking table. Um, Even if it's obvious that he has two dads.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just I
So
thought that was funny.
anything else with that one?
No, it seems that that
So
is it.
before he read that, I said I was also adopted. Funnily enough, how I found out I was adopted was also by a teacher.
Which is how it usually happens
Um, but it wasn't a
if your
teacher that I
parents don't
had.
tell you.
It wasn't a teacher that I had, mind you. It was a teacher who used to live next to my parents when I was younger. She was dating one of my friend's dads, got drunk and told them that I was adopted. And then my friend just asked me about it one day. We were going up the stairs. I just kind of stopped. I was like, what are you talking about?" Because I had never thought of it. I
Yeah.
had never once in my life thought that I was adopted until then. And then like 2 days later, I texted my dad and asked if I was adopted.
Texted him.
Yeah, because I was just in my room.
What's up, bro? Am I
Um,
adopted, by the way?
yeah, I was adopted, but yeah, teachers are really good at just spilling the secrets of kids' lives.
So you had like no idea whatsoever.
Oh no, I never thought about
Not
it.
even like never crossed your mind.
No, because why would it? Didn't matter to
Make
me.
sure you're looking at the microphone, or I'm
It
going
didn't.
to beat you with a stick.
Am I not coming through?
No, every time you
Oh,
look that way, you're turning like this,
okay.
which you don't look at my levels
I'll do
right
this.
now. That's what I'm doing.
No, I never cared because why would it matter if I was or wasn't?
I
I
definitely wasn't
mean,
adopted, and I thought about it. I honestly kind of wish I was sometimes.
yeah. But I also have like good parents.
Yeah, that would help as
Yeah.
well.
So,
Also, why aren't we just telling our fucking kids from the beginning? Why are we not? Obviously, you don't go up to little Timmy, who's 4.5 years old, and be like, "Your mommy didn't love you enough, so you're here with us now, and we're never gonna love you like a real child." That's not what you
yeah.
do. Like, I feel like kids are like the most accepting of stuff like
Hmm.
that when they're that young. You just tell them, and they're like, "Oh, cool." Just be like, "Yeah, your parents,
Yeah.
for whatever reason it was, if you know or not, couldn't take care of you, but we love you just the same." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And they
Yeah.
grow up not feeling betrayed when they find out, like almost in adulthood,
Hmm.
that they're adopted. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't know. Um, I have another crazy teacher story. If you'd like
Okay.
me to do another one.
Yeah.
So, this one is in ninth grade. This is a high school teacher, um, history teacher actually. And this was getting near the end of the year, so we were getting ready for finals. And he comes in one day and he just looks so upset, right? And he's sitting there, and one of the kids is like, "Hey, like what's wrong?" And he was like, "Oh, it's nothing, it's nothing," right? And at this point in my life, like I liked technology. I didn't like I didn't come off as like a tech guy or whatever, right? But like the teacher walks up to me while we're just doing work, and he's like, "Hey, can you come over to my desk? I need to ask you a question about something on my laptop." I was
How
like,
you said
"Okay,
ninth grade?
yeah."
Oh my
And
god.
this is like a 50-year-old teacher, so like he's not really like good with tech. So I go over there, and he pulls out a flash drive. This poor flash drive. He had ran it over in the parking lot and it was just shredded to bits, and he was like,
Can
"I
you
can't
fix
get this
this?
to work. I would like, can you see if you can get it to work?" Right? And I'm just like, "Yeah, like what's on it?" And he just kind of like he just kind of like looked down. He was like, "It has the end of year tests on it." He
Oh,
didn't save. He made all the tests like himself. He was a great teacher, mind
yeah.
you, but he made all the tests himself. He didn't even teach from like the book that we had, which was great because he actually taught history.
These days, you look up Quizlet and find your
Hmm.
exact
Right,
copy of your test
but
online.
this man made one copy of this, and it was on that flash drive. He had nothing else. So of course, like I plug it into the laptop, it detects it, but it's not reading it. And I go to pull it out, and I burnt my finger because it was just
Oh
like
my god,
something
yeah.
with it. Normally they don't get that hot, but
Well, when you
this
fucking
was
run it
fucked. Yeah,
over,
yeah. I looked at, I was
maybe.
like, "I'm sorry,
I
like there's nothing you
can't
can
do
do
anything
about
for
this."
you.
Yeah.
Did you just pass everyone, or did you have to retake it?
He got really sad.
Oh,
Um,
no.
yeah, we ended up doing a test and it was super easy, and I feel like it he just kind of like rushed it and made it easy, but he was so sad
Yeah,
about it.
that's so sad.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like any very specific bad experiences I've had with teachers. College,
I mean, I have a lot of like
it's
funny
like
stuff.
every single one, basically. All of them are kind of stupid. But I don't really know about like public school.
Yeah.
I also went to a much worse public school than you did.
Hmm.
We have, am I the asshole for telling a classmate in forensics that she should have expected the content of the class to be sensitive and can't be mad at the teacher? Or, um, am I an asshole for calling my son's teacher a bully and reporting her?
Mm,
These are both long, I think.
let's do the bully.
Okay. That's not too long, actually. I, 41 female, have a son who I will call Jack, 12 male, and with my husband, 42 male. Jack has a speech impediment, which causes him to stutter. It's not too bad at home, but he really struggles to speak in front of other people oh my god, due to some past bullying. He's okay when it's just his friends, but if he has to speak in front of the whole class, it can take several minutes to finish a single sentence, which he finds very upsetting. Me and my husband have spoken to the school and have arranged accommodations for Jack. All of his teachers know not to call on him for reading or to answer questions, and he is allowed to raise his hand and have a friend respond for him when the teacher is taking the register. He has a note from school um, that he can show his teachers if they question why he is not able to speak aloud. Recently, my son has moved up to a higher level English class where he has a new teacher who I will call Mrs. A. Last week, she tried to get my son to read aloud. She showed her he showed her the note and she didn't make him. However, she emailed me saying that she didn't think my son needed the note. I explained that he did and told her that the school had evidence from his speech therapist thinking that was it. That was until Monday when I had to come pick up Jack from school. The nurse said that he felt sick, but when I got into the car, he confessed that that was not really the case. Basically, Mrs. A had asked him to read. He then showed her the note again, but she said that she had seen him talking to his friends and that she knew he could speak fine when he wanted to, and telling him not to be so shy. When my son refused, she promised to let the whole class out early if he read. Again, he shook his head. Some of the classmates were understanding, but as it's a new class, some of them didn't know him as well and were upset at him for the fact they didn't get an early break, causing them to be rude to him. Me and my husband were obviously very upset and sent an email to the school to report her, but I almost made a post on the school's parent WhatsApp group calling her a cruel, power tripping bully and explaining what happened.
Should have made the post.
Oh, sorry, she did. I read almost. She said, I also.
Oh yeah,
I
good.
also made a post.
Yeah, that
Okay.
teacher needs to be fired.
From what I can gather, a screenshot of my message got shared around with many of the other parents siding with me. However, I received a message today from the school warning me not to use abusive language to describe teachers and telling me to please speak at the school directly instead of complaining online, as it could compromise teacher safety. Part of me feels justified in sharing, but I
Hmm.
don't know if I went too far in calling her that and then sharing it to a group chat with basically all the year's parents, especially if it could really put her in danger. So, am I the asshole?
No, that teacher needs to be fired. I mean, that's
Yeah,
disgusting. The school, made accommodations, and for them not to back that up with that
that's
teacher,
illegal.
yeah. Like, if I was her, I'd be going to the cops or the SRO at that school if they have one and get them involved.
Like, not only did you embarrass this kid, you've basically, like, made him a target for
Hmm.
all of the other,
And
like,
he's been
children.
bullied before. This is going to make recovering from that 10 times worse.
And I'm glad that he just said no. I'm glad
Yeah,
that he stood up for himself and said no every single time. Because I don't think most kids would.
no.
I don't think most kids would know that they can tell them no.
But it also sounds like this kid has amazing parents who have probably explained to him that, yes, you can tell adults no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're a kid doesn't mean that you can't, or, like, can or can't consent to things like that. You
Yeah.
don't have to read aloud if you don't want to.
And I think that's honestly a big issue with some people, not just older people,
Hmm.
but thinking that children don't have the right to consent.
A
And I'm just
lot of
like,
parents.
they are a human being. They can say yes or no to things. Obviously, there's a limit and a time and a place,
Hmm.
but they they can decide what they want to do. Do you have anything else? I don't know. What do I do?
So in 10th grade, I had a history teacher, and she was probably like late 50s to 60, somewhere in that range. We were watching, I want to say it was like Romeo and Juliet or something, like the old Romeo and Juliet films. Um it was it was something like that. One of that type of movie. And lunch came around, so we all went to lunch, and she stayed in there. We go back in there after lunch, and me and a few of the other people in the class got in there first, and she had the movie paused to a scene of one
Oh
of the
no, the
characters
one
just
that have the ass
shirtless.
out.
No, he was just shirtless.
Okay, well, there's one. His entire ass cheeks are out. and I remember it because I was like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
But she sees us and she's like, "Oh," and just like, shuts it off and just acts like nothing was wrong.
Oh my god.
Um on that same vein, this is a lot worse, but in 7th grade, I had a science teacher. He was a horrible teacher. He was a creep. Um
You.
I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get sued for slandering someone, but I don't even think he's a teacher now. I'm pretty sure he got fired. You'll understand why. Um, but several times he was a science teacher, right? Several times throughout the day,
It's
he
always the
would
fucking science teacher.
connect his computer to the smart board and project what he has on his screen. Well, he would never like hit F11 and maximize it so you could see all of his tabs.
Oh
Half of them were always Pornhub,
no, we had a teacher
right?
like that too.
And this teacher, right, remind you, this is 7th grade. He'd always walk up. He would always like walk around the class and ask if he needed help, but never the boys, and only the girls that had the big boobs. And he'd walk up and stare and stand
We went
over
to different
them.
school systems. No way we had the same fucking teacher.
What did his last name begin with?
See,
Okay, yeah, not the same teacher. Um,
if you know me personally, you know who I'm talking about because he got fired like a year or two ago, and I found out about it. It was really funny.
wait,
Huh?
okay, no, yeah. Well, we also had a teacher with the last name of C who got fired. Um, sleeping with several students. This was an 8th grade teacher.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
That happened twice.
Those are 13-year-olds.
Yeah,
Those are. Oh my. Ugh.
there's also a teacher who started dating a girl when
Trigger
she
warning for
turned
fucking pedophilia. God.
18. He dated her for 3 weeks before the whole school found out because of her, because she was just telling
Yeah,
everyone.
because they're children.
Yeah, well, they're still together and married. He got
Disgusting.
divorced by his wife of like 30 years
What do you tell
with
your
two
children?
kids. Oh, he had 2 kids. Yeah.
What do you tell? Oh, he had him
No, it's
before.
like he had the kids with his wife of 30 years, broke up with her for
For
this 18-year-old girl.
he's gonna do the same thing in a few years for her. I'm sure.
Yeah,
That
because
is fucking disgusting.
she's 27 now. So, and he was like 50 then.
It is so disgusting how I don't know if they
Ugh.
handle it differently not in America, but it's so difficult to get a teacher fired for actually being a creep
Hmm.
or like even if they've done stuff. It's like very
I've
difficult.
seen it happen a lot. I used to work in a education system um, a couple years ago, and unfortunately, there were several teachers who did things that they shouldn't do, and only one of them got fired. The other three were suspended on administrative leave without pay, but
Wow.
kept their retirement, which is ridiculous. They should be thrown in jail. The one who actually got fired, this is hilarious. This is like the end of the school year. Like they were doing testing. I was over there fixing something for the school, and then I just see the superintendent with a SWAT team just like walking through the school, and then a few minutes later, they're just dragging that teacher out through the halls. He's in jail, as
I
they all should
hope
be in
he's
jail.
still there. Oh my god.
Oh, he probably is. The parents were furious and actually pressed charges against him,
Yeah, like
which is how it should always be. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, the parents don't do anything for whatever reason. And that's why the
it's probably because they don't
teachers,
believe them.
yeah, but that's why the teachers only get off like on administrative leave.
And half the time it's with pay, I'm sure. It might just be different in different states too.
Yeah.
Like other states may like be much more aggressive about that, but where we live, there's just so many loopholes. Um, my oldest brother is 8ish years older than me. This teacher had been teaching when he was in high school for a while, was still teaching up until I think 2 to 3 years ago. And since he had started, there were complaints and complaints and complaints about him. And he was also a tennis coach, so like he was also spending
Mm,
time with these mostly teenage girls outside of
what was
school.
what was his name?
The one I told you already.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I didn't.
Um,
Yeah.
so he was spending a lot of time with these kids, not in the school and after school hours. Also, uh, he was a science teacher, and I wanted to be an AP Science because
Mm,
I had a fucking 4.0, and I deserved to be an AP Science. I think if you have a 4.0, but I was sick all the time. I wasn't there most of the time because I had chronic pneumonia for that first bit of high school for like 2.5 years straight. But I still had a fucking 4.0, and I'm like, hey, for whatever reason, our school had it set up like you have to get your previous like the same subject, your previous teacher to sign off to be in the AP
that's
class.
ridiculous.
I think it should just be based off your grade.
Yeah, it should be based
And
off
he
your
was
grade.
like, I think you miss too much school, and I don't think you're going to be able to handle it. And I'm like, I literally have a
That's
100%
yeah.
in your class. What is your fucking
Like
issue?
you're doing better than the kids that go there every single day, then you're fine.
Yeah. Like, this is environmental science. It's not that fucking serious.
Yeah. I had a a teacher in this was in 11th grade. It was like a personal finance class. Half of that class, she would just come in, get like just put her feet up on the desk and then put on like Devil Wears Prada like every single day. That's all
What?
that we did in that
I
class.
mean, I
It was
definitely had some teachers at my technical school that did that. Like,
yeah.
just did not care what we were doing. Um, I don't know. I just think, like, specifically elementary school teachers, it they're just really fucking bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why do you hate kids so much? Go work somewhere else. Like, if you just
It's
genuinely hate children, go do it somewhere else. Like, just any
mm,
other career. Come on. Go teach older kids. Like, that is an option for you. You don't have to change careers. You can just go teach, like, not small children. Like, I think it was like my second grade teacher that genuinely just hated us and like screamed at me every day.
oh, that's
I'm gonna have to
bad.
bleep this, but she called me a every day. Um, we got like from another
Why?
class, we got like candy as like a reward, and we were eating it, and we were like spelling or something. She was an English teacher, and we were all just sitting in front of like the whiteboard while she's like talking, and I'm eating like my fucking sweet tarts or whatever it was, and she just stops and is like, "Everyone, be quiet! Why are you eating like a cow? That's so disgusting."
What
And
the fuck?
I don't think I was particularly eating weirdly, like
Like a cow, just
sweet tarts. Come on.
you
I,
like put like your whole hand in your mouth
I
and
don't
like
think so. And we had this one kid that had it should have been in a separate classroom, I believe. I think he needed some more accommodations that he was not getting, but he would not wash his hands after he went to the bathroom. I don't think he could clean
mm,
himself after he went to the bathroom, and
that's
no one was helping him.
disgusting.
And they would literally make me smell his hands to see if they
Why?
smelled like soap.
What the fuck?
And it was only me
Why? Why did you do that?
because I was told to, and I was like 5 or 6.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then I don't even remember.
What the
I
fuck?
don't think it was him, but it was another like kid that was similar. Um Literally on the playground just started kicking me in the head. It did it for like 5 or 10 minutes before anyone did anything about it. They didn't send me home. Nothing. Like, I hope that school system rots in hell. For real.
Was that in West Virginia?
No. It was here. It's a school system. It's a school that is still open in our like in the county I lived in. That is the only elementary school.
I don't know.
And I remember seeing that teacher that called me and like all those names and stuff at a like store later, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I was just like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "Oh," because she like knew my mom. I was like, "I don't know who you are. Sorry."
In college, I did while I was going to college, I also did professional audio video engineering,
Hmm.
and I was going to college to get a degree in that. A couple of my teachers I also worked with.
Oh god.
So that was fine, but there was a lot of stuff in the class because this was like the first year they had ever had this class that they didn't know as much about as I did. So they would just let me teach the class when that stuff came up. And this
Interesting.
happened for a whole year
Did you go to
in
the
several
community college
classes.
here? Or did...
Um,
Oh, well, now I have to cut that. So.
when I worked for the one school system, I had to go to a teacher's room to fix her computer. And this was a middle school teacher. I think it was the sixth grade class. And I went in there to look at it about halfway through their lunch period. And I was still in there when they, got in there.
Hmm.
And the class gets in there. And all the kids were nice. They said hi to me. The teacher gets in there and she starts teaching. I finished what I was doing and I needed her to sign in, right? So I kind of like got up and walked over a little bit to where she could see me, like making just intense direct eye contact with her because I don't want to interrupt her. And one of the
Hmm.
kids like raised his hand and was like, "Hey, the tech guy needs to talk to you." And she was like, "Well, I'm teaching here." And the kid was like, "Yeah, well, have some respect for his time."
Oh my god.
And the teacher's like, "You can't like talk to me like that." And another kid was like, "I'm gonna have to see you in the hallway if you keep disrespecting him like that." And I'm just like,
Damn.
"What is happening? These kids are just like bullying this teacher."
That
I
is
mean, she
so
was like
mean.
kind of rude anyway, so I thought it was funny, but none of them got in trouble for it.
Basically, I've never met a teacher that just did not want to be a fucking teacher ever. Like, just did not want to do her job. And I don't know if it's because she had too many students, because she was like, I have over 100 students in this class. And I'm like, I don't give a
That's
shit.
not a lot.
Not my
Yeah, but
problem.
that's not a lot. Like you go to
Um,
big universities and it's like several hundred per class.
yeah, like I was an online student. So this was for a, like, basically just teaching you how to write essays on a college level. Um, sure, whatever. English is my strong suit. Um, and of course, if you are in school, probably even not college, high school probably does this now. You have to sign a bunch of papers that are like, "Hey, I'm not going to use AI to cheat and like use AI to do my work." Sure. This bitch did not grade. Like, I would say, like, it was an accelerated course as well, so I was writing like 3 essays a week, if not more. I would say maybe like 3 out of every single essay I wrote was actually graded by her. It was literally just like, it wasn't AI, because like that's a whole conversation on its own, that like what AI actually fucking is, but like what the general populace would consider AI. This was an AI program that you would write your essay into, and it would give you live feedback on if it was good or not and what was wrong, and it would grade it for you, and that exact grade, as soon as you finished it up, would just paste it right into your grade book.
That's not teaching.
It's not. And of course, when you're using a program, yeah, of course
Thing.
there are issues with these things. They have problems, and I would
Hmm.
message her and be like, "Hey, it's flagging this as a problem. It's not." And she would be like, "Well, like, it's up to you if you want to listen to the advice of it." And like, it's literally telling me to do something that's grammatically incorrect.
Yeah,
I'm
like that's
not,
not.
like, it's making me change the word to something that doesn't make sense. Um, and just saying that certain things are wrong. And I'm like, if they're wrong, can you explain to me why they're wrong? Because it doesn't tell me. It just says it's wrong, and it would give me a lower score. And she would be like, "Well, you should be happy with the score that you have because it's actually really good, and you shouldn't shoot for perfection." I'm like, "Bitch, you are playing with my
What
GPA.
the fuck?
You're playing with my future." Um, and then on so up until it was a 7 week course, up until like week 6, we only did basically a certain one type of essay, and we only did it in this program. And now she's like, okay, you're gonna write a completely different type of essay, just by yourself, um, for your final. So I'm like, that's weird. Okay, whatever. No one's gonna know what the fuck they're doing. And of course I didn't. And she would like literally mark things incorrect that I didn't understand. I truly did not think were incorrect, and I would just be like, "Hey, like I would try to get stuff due before the deadline, so there's like that little like
Mm-hmm.
margin of error so I can get stuff done." But she would not respond like at all, basically. And then I would get a lower grade. And literally every single thing that she would post would be like leaded with "do not email me about this." Like her first like my first interaction with this woman was like, "Do not email me asking me about this. Do not ask me this." And like
Why are you there if you can't have your
you
students
don't
email
grade your
you?
papers. You don't talk to your students. um I remember what the one thing was. It was we had to like attend cultural
Yeah.
events, and I didn't know that. It was in the syllabus, but that's a little bit my fault for not reading it, but she never spoke of it. Never posted like an
No,
actual
I would
thing
say that's her
that
fault
was like
because the teachers need to go over their syllabus.
and she was like, all of the events that the college do count. And I needed to go to like 6. And she said they could only have been done within the time of the class, which was 7 weeks. And if we wanted to get it done, really 5 or 6, because we were supposed to be writing these really long papers on these events.
That's ridiculous.
And it was like week 4 or 5 when I realized like she actually like she posted something. It was like, oh, if you have failed to do any of this or completely forgot about it, you still have a little bit of time. I'm like, it fucking sounds like you didn't have like time, you
Hmm.
forgot. And in the description it was like, any of the college things count. We're all online students. I have not even been in person to my college campus. Like, it is far away. I have not been there. I am a full-time employee. I am a full-time student. Like, I have a lot of shit going on. I could not have went to any of these things. Um so I just wrote about a few things that like I'm like, maybe this is a cultural event. But she literally like in the thing was like, no, it is not acceptable to ask me if your topic is appropriate. Use common sense.
That's
And guess what? I got a
stupid.
bad grade on all but like one because she didn't think they were appropriate. I don't know. I wrote the meanest review, and it was anonymous, but I probably shouldn't have let it be. I should have been like, "This is my name. I hate you. I hope you lose your job."
Did you talk to the dean about it too?
I have not.
You need to.
I don't even know what my final grade is because she hasn't posted shit.
It's been like a month.
Yeah.
Well, how fucking dumb is she?
So, so like, we had to, like, the program that we used, we had to spend our own fucking money on. Like, it wasn't that expensive, but I used my money to buy this.
That's not
And
right.
we moved to an online bookstore, and it was considered like a book, even though it was an access code to a software. Um, 75% of my class did not actually get access to this program for at least half of the course
Why?
because the bookstore, they were moving to an online bookstore. They had all kinds of issues because I don't know, they never done it before. So
That college has had issues since I went there back in
yeah,
2015.
we're in 2024.
Wait, they
Um,
had issues, like huge issues back then. There's a reason I stopped going there.
yeah, so I luckily was one of the people that got access to the software, but basically no one else did. Um, so like her first post was just like, "Do not email me. I know that it's an issue."
I would still email her.
Oh, I did,
Yeah.
and like,
Did she respond?
no,
You should have just kept emailing her until she
like I would
responded.
have an issue with an assignment. I would have a specific problem send a message, no reply, send a message about something else, reply to that apparently, and just be like, "Hey, did you get my message about this?" No reply. And like on the survey, it was like, "Does this teacher, does this professor like get back in a timely manner?"
No.
And I said, "Only if she feels like it and thinks that you're important enough to like waste her precious time on, because she didn't fucking reply to me ever."
Yeah, you're too nice. I would have just like every 5 minutes sent her a new like email, just being like, "Hey, are
I
you gonna
should
answer my
have.
question? Like, hey, are you gonna answer my question now?"
Yeah,
Like after
and
a
I
day of like, you know, like a weekday, if you take longer than that to respond, like, what do
even
you?
like 48 hours, I'm like, it's okay, whatever.
They should still respond within the day,
Well, I mean,
like next day.
if they have hundreds of like if you're an online student, I don't like to send a lot of messages. I really don't, but like that is your primary like source of interaction with this teacher. You're not in class, you can't raise your hand, you can't go up to them. They're not actually interacting with you. Of course you're going to get a lot of emails. I don't understand. Let me see if she put all of my grades in or not. I have an 87.
Is that a B or is that still a C?
I don't know. It's probably a B according to this
Because
class.
I know they've changed the grade point
I think
to
it's
where it's
just
like
by
10
10.
point. Yeah. When I was in school, it was like 6, I think.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
no, 100 to a 96 was an A 95 to a 92 is a B, 91 to an 86 was a C, an 85 to a 80 was a D, and anything under that was an F.
yeah, but you also did you pay attention to your grades in college at all? Because college grading is completely
I'm not
different.
talking about college. I'm talking about high school and
Well,
college.
that is how it is in high school, kind of, but for the most part, college is completely different. Like this class is out of 320 points. Like some of them are out of thousands of points. Like it just depends how much work you're doing.
Most of my classes were pass fail, so
Yeah,
I didn't have
I've
like grade.
never experienced a pass fail
Oh, they're
class
so much
really.
easier
Like
because it's how it should be. If you get 50% of it correct, then you pass. Although I
yeah,
guess that also depends on what if you're going to like a medical field, maybe you shouldn't pass with 50% correct answers,
yeah,
right?
maybe.
But like if you're going into something like just like a GED, yeah, okay,
What
it
is the
shouldn't
time
matter
say?
as much. It's like over an hour.
By how much?
I don't know.
Okay, let's wrap it up with one more story.
Okay,
So I'm gonna let you choose.
again.
Am I the asshole for telling my daughter's teacher that she's being fucking stupid? Or am I the asshole for complaining about a pregnant teacher?
I'm curious about the pregnant teacher.
Okay. I'm taking AP Psych this year as a junior. Since I'll be applying to colleges next year, maintaining good grades this year is vital. AP Psych has been an issue on that front, mostly because the teacher has made some controversial choices. For example, at one point, there was a written exam where the average score was 30%, according to
Oh my
her.
god.
That says more about
Her.
her.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
that's on the teacher.
And nobody I talked to had gotten above a 40%. She said she graded the test like an official AP exam would, but obviously, if every single person did shitty, she didn't teach it properly. Another choice that she made that was controversial was replacing the exam with an art project in which we had to make a series of drawings representing the concept of the unit. She then proceeded to make the artistic merit of the drawings, shading lines, etc., worth 50% of the grade.
For a psych class?
What?
No.
Like, obviously, if we're just doing like stick figures, you're like, okay, you really did not put too much effort
But
into
like
this.
most people
But
can't draw more than a stick figure.
they can if they try. It won't
I
be good,
I
but
can.
you can draw more than that, I promise you. Um, Again, most people did not do well. I voiced to some of my friends that this was stupid. We aren't taking an art class, and as long
Mm-hmm.
as the material is correct and the basic neatness slash effort is shown, why does the artistic merit even matter? I said we should complain to the principal about this, and my friends agreed. So we got 50 plus signatures saying she's incompetent and needs to go. Some other students said that we're an asshole for complaining about her because she's
Nope.
currently pregnant. But pregnant or not, I think she's harming the student's transcript. So am I the asshole?
No,
Also, why teachers always be pregnant?
they really do.
It's usually an English teacher, I would say. But like, why are we pregnant 60% of the work year and then you're just not there? Like, I get people are trying to have families, but there's a trend. Everyone agrees. Teachers always be having babies. And there's nothing more uncomfortable than being like in fifth grade and your teacher's like, I'm pregnant. And you're just like, I just found out what that means. Oh my God. Like, last week we just had sex ed and here we are. Um, I don't know. I think it's funny.
Teachers be wildin'.
They'd be wilding out there.
It's a wild west.
Do we want to do this one?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll do this one too because it seems interesting. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter's teacher that she is being fucking stupid?
probably not.
Hi Reddit, I really lost my cool yesterday and I'm feeling really shitty about it. So I thought I'd ask some internet strangers for clarity. If that's like your first thought, something something's wrong.
Yeah.
Get some friends. I don't know. My 11-year-old daughter is in 6th grade this year, and she's been working really hard in math. She's gotten over an 80% in the test, every class test so far, by sheer blood, sweat, and tears. She never used to be particularly good at school exams. She's, of course, an amazing kid in a million ways, but really struggled with math and other subjects as well. Her math teacher has a pin board where she posts the name of kids that have worked the hardest that week. She gives those kids a small reward like a chocolate bar. I thought that was a good idea because it motivates the kids who struggle with math. My daughter was crying a few weeks ago about how she's never been picked at the week's hard worker. I asked her how the teacher picks, and she said she doesn't really know, but it's usually the kids who don't do so great in tests. If they show a little improvement, they go on the board. This seemed really unfair to the kids who work hard and score well, like my daughter.
Yeah.
So, from what you're describing, is that your kid is doing fine in the class and not like working hard and still not doing well. Yesterday, we had the first parent teacher meeting of the year, and I brought this up to the math teacher. She basically said, my daughter does well only because she is naturally talented. So she only wants to give the hard worker reward to the kids who are actually working for every mark. I blew up on her. I yelled at her and called her a fucking idiot. And she has no idea what my daughter studies, even though she's only in 6th grade, for fuck's sake. I said it's really unfair and to obviously favor kids who don't get good grades. I feel guilty for making a scene, and also, is the teacher right here? I might be biased because I'm not a teacher and my daughter's involved, so am I the asshole?
The teacher's not right. There shouldn't be a selective, like, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like, you shouldn't just, oh, the kids are doing bad, so let's give them a chocolate bar. Well, the kids that are doing good, what if they did study and like they actually suck
So,
at math? That's not fair to them.
well, obviously they don't suck if they're doing good, is the point.
Well, if
And
I don't
obviously,
know. I mean, I disagree.
I had this system in school.
I hate that system.
Um, but I think it's literally only for people, only for children that are obviously doing poorly, but like when they're improving.
Yeah, but all the kids that aren't doing poorly, like, how do they feel about it? They probably hate it.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, because it's not fair.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't like systems like that. It's like the stupid, like, the star board, right? That teachers always have in elementary schools, like, oh, you did something good, you get a star.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
I've it's the same concept, and I've always hated that.
it's just incentive. And I feel like maybe not the most fair, but at the same time, what's also not fair is certain kids having to work so much harder to get to the same exact place or even lower and getting absolutely no recognition for it whatsoever. So, I don't know. I think either way, it's kind of
I
weird, but
think the
maybe
teacher's
don't
wrong.
scream at a teacher for it and be like, "My daughter works so hard. She's not smart. She's so stupid. Actually, she deserves chocolate." Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I don't think that's what he was saying.
I know, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't think it's that big of a deal
I don't think
because
the teacher should do like chocolate.
I don't think so either. But I think that's a system in place to help kids that are struggling, and obviously if she is doing good on these tests, she's not struggling as much, so she is not included in that. So to be upset that she's not included in a group that you don't want her to be in is a little bit weird to me.
I get that, but I almost wonder if this teacher is putting kids who don't try at all and that are just bad at the class on that list as well and giving them chocolate.
Maybe, but probably not because it's who worked the hardest. Like, I don't know. I think that it could be a good lesson for kids that, like, hey, sometimes people need more help than you do for whatever reason. Because not everyone is the same, and some people need more help in certain areas. But also, like I said, I had this system in school, and I did also kind of hate it because I fell into the group that literally never got anything because I didn't do bad enough to get anything, but I never did good enough to get anything
Hmm.
either. Which, like, I don't know, because like I had pretty good grades when I was younger.
Unless you're the top two of the class, you don't get any recognition.
Basically, not no.
But
But
I
like, I
mean,
also worked. Sorry, I did not work. I went to a school that really was not nice to kids. Like, okay, if say you have a child and your child says like in elementary school, I want to go be a part of choir next year. What do you think that kid has to do to be in choir class?
well, if it was my school, they would just tell the guidance counselor they want in there, and then they would let them do that as their elective.
At like elementary aged children, I'm saying as well. Like that's what you would think that you
Yeah,
just we had tryouts or something,
you don't need
which
that unless you're in a competitive choir in high school.
I was like, whatever, maybe it's fine. Go sing row 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 your boat. That's what it fucking was. So not only did we have to do tryouts, they announced like over the intercom who got in.
That's not okay.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
gosh.
did that with like A and B honor roll too, which like I always was on it, but like I remember just waiting every time, be like, did I get in the choir? And like I'm probably not a great singer, and I probably wasn't any better at like 8 years old. But like I feel like how bad can you be at singing "Row, row, row your boat"
Pretty bad.
to like just get fucking kicked out of choir?
You just don't sing the song.
How
You
are
just
you
pick your
supposed to learn to
nose.
sing?
Should I tell the story of um
We need to wrap up. Is it quick?
of the principal and the thing that the principal did?
Oh my god, yeah.
So this was for the Martin Luther King Jr. Day week.
We never did anything for
The
that, but
principal called every student who was African American, or mixed to the library
by name.
by name, proceeds to give them KFC, watermelon, and Capri Suns. Now, of course, everyone including the parents of these kids, are pissed about it, right? And everyone fucking blows up on this principal. And you know
But
what that
like,
asshole does?
also, the school you went to was like I feel like being white was a minority there.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
like it is
I
now.
would say back when I went there, 50% of the population, well, okay, I would say 40% was probably African American or African, and the rest of the 60% was probably like 50% white and 10% Hispanic.
Yeah. But like now I feel like it's like 75, 25. Like
Yeah.
so like
And the
everyone else
school
got
never
left
had an
out.
issue with people being racist when I went there. So like when
Yeah.
this happened, we were all shocked. Like no, like of course the kids are fucking mad because like I want my KFC and watermelon
Yeah,
and
like
Capri Sun, right? And all the
where's my
kids
food?
the one of the animals opened the door.
Oh my
You know,
god.
one of the animals opened the door. It was that one. Um, but yeah, and of course, all the kids that got it, they were flaunting it, which just made it worse, right? So the parents got involved, and it fucking blew up. So a couple days later, this idiot,
People
this
ends in.
asshole of a principal calls all the Hispanic kids to the library by name and gives them fucking Taco Bell.
Oh my god.
Like that's gonna make it better? No, you give everyone in the school KFC and watermelon, and that would make it better.
Here, you can
And apologize publicly.
you can't see him on me. He blends in. There he is, the man. Say goodbye to him, by the way. He may be going to new home. He is our foster situation, and we may have found the right people for him to go live with. I will miss him though. Look at him. Oh my god, don't toss him. Look at him. Look at this baby. Oh, you can hear it purring.
Yes.
What a sweetie. Um, that guy's still the principal, by the way. He's still
Yeah,
there.
I don't know why or how.
I
That was he should have been fired for that, and that was a stupid decision. And considering how the school board reacted to it, you could tell it was a him decision. The school board had no idea about it. It was bad. Um,
He's chewing on me now. Why are you like this? Little freak. Look at the face he's making.
the athletics director who was there at the time that I was there, a horrible person, hated him. All he ever cared about was football. Anyways,
Football.
he didn't create the logo for the school, but he helped to design it. And somehow he was able to go behind the school's back, get a lawyer, and copyright the logo, even though he didn't invent it himself, and charge the school. So they fired him.
Can we not chew on me? That's not very nice.
And I don't know what they ended up doing, but the school board got the rights back from him and sued him for it. And now he works for a different school system just as a football coach, not the athletics director, which
Let's. You can tell me after what his name is, because I don't want to cut it. We are running a bit long on this episode, so thank you so much if you have listened or watched this far. I hope that you liked a little bit of a different format, because this is something that we kind of both have a lot of stories from, but we did have some Reddit
short
stories in
stories.
there, yeah. Um, but yes, thank you again. Remember, go send us some stories on Instagram, please.
Yes.
I'm practically begging you, people. I'm being attacked right now. Please, very much. Um, but yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.